Desmith and Salmi refused to leave when church leaders asked. Police arrived and charged them both with disorderly conduct, obstructing an officer, and carrying a concealed weapon. Today, they're at the Brown County Court for a first appearance on the charges. And they're not going to make things easy for County Court Commissioner Cynthia Vopal.
Did you get my notice?
Your notice, sir?
I'm not a sir.
I'm gonna have a seat.
Have a seat, please.
The notice that Desmith asks about is one of a series of handwritten notes he and Salmi filed, which claim they're not part of the legal society and quote, idiots before the court. Their list of demands includes $300,000, no jail time, and various apologies and retractions. The commissioner moves on.
Do you plan on hiring an attorney?
I don't understand what you're saying. I don't speak your language. I only speak man to man.
Okay. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf.
If you enter a plea on my behalf, you will be held fully liable.
And you will have these cases, we will be then sending this case upstairs.
Okay, that was good what he just said. Okay, and you see how their demeanor is? They have a no-nonsense demeanor. And they're going to try to downplay this, but you see how nervous that judge got? You could say something like this: Yana, will your bond withstand the commercial liability that's being entered into this courtroom today? They understand what that means. When you start understanding, when you start letting public servants know that you understand that they're bonded, that they're insured, and if they lose that insurance, they lose their job because you'll make a claim against their bond, that's powerful. Okay, so she paused for a second. Also, he let her know that I sent notices to you. And she said, what notices? She's acting like she don't know what he's talking about. That's why a lot of times it's good to send notices, certified mail with restricted endorsement. Restricted endorsement means that only that particular person is going to get it, is going to get the correspondence. And you come in with the green 3811 form, and they say, what she say, what notice? The notice I sent to you, certified mail, here's the 3011 return receipt request that shows you did sign for it, so I know that you got it.
Desmith's defiance and language are similar to courtroom strategies of the sovereign citizen movement, which claims that state courts hold no jurisdiction over them.
What they're saying is this: if you've taken the time to read your Constitution, you will know, or use Google, you will know that there are Article 1 courts and Article 3 courts. We also have Article 2 courts, which are military courts, but they don't have anything to do with the civilians. But the civilians are subject to either Article 1 court, which is an administrative court, and Article 3 court, which is a true judiciary court. A true judiciary court. So, when we're saying, we're not saying that we're not subject to any law. Statutes are not laws. I actually got a book here from a law professor where it states that, Gannon's Commercial Law, where it talks about that. All right, you keep calling it a law, but a statute is not a law. The law of the land is the Constitution for the United States of America, and contract makes the law. Statutes revolve around a certain jurisdiction of all the powers that have been delegated to the legislature, which are commercial in nature. And we find that under Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. So under Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, those are all everything that they can adjudicate in an Article 1 court. So when we come in and ask the question, is this civil or criminal, and what jurisdiction are you operating under, that is what we're trying to determine. We're trying to determine, is this an Article 1 court or an Article 3 court? If we directly ask them if it's an Article 1 court or an Article 3 court, they'll hold us in contempt. I don't know why, but they'll threaten you with contempt for asking them, is this an Article 1 court or an Article 3 court? For asking that simple question. And if you don't believe me and you're somebody just sitting on the bench out there and you think this is some bullshit, the next time you find your ass in court, you go in there and ask them and see what happens and see whether or not you find your ass with a contempt charge. Because you might need a wake-up call. Because trust me, when you find out the truth, everybody who goes into court and sees what's going on, I know my first time I was in court and I was like, they really are doing this. I can't believe it. They really are deceiving everyone in the United States. And when you see how organized they are, you can understand how they're getting away with it, because it's a very controlled environment. But the American people have a protection. It's called the Constitution, and it's the Sixth Amendment, and you have a right to know things, but you have to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, they have a right to presume that you don't want to know, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. So they have a right to presume everything. They have a right to presume that you know all of this. They have a right to presume that you know it's a commercial court. They have a right to presume that you already know it's civil. They have a right to presume that you're a slave. They have a right to presume all of that. They don't consider themselves hiding anything because they publish everything.
In charge of hearing this introductory hearing in the court.
Who are you? She just answered the question, sir.
Sir, we don't have time for this. I have a courtroom full of people.
I'm not a sir.
The hearing ends when Desmith refuses to sign his bond paperwork.
Either sign this or we're going to mark it as refused. I deny service. Okay. Refused, and then you can leave. Okay. We're done here.
Goodbye.
On his way out, he fist bumps his supporters, including KGB, who was watching from the gallery. The court has even less time for Salmi's dissent, which lasts only 30 seconds.
For I, man Jordan Salmi, am in a state of man, now past and forthwith. I'm not a respondent
take him
or
in.
defendant. You can leave. I'm asking you to leave. Is that an order? Leave, please.
Five months later, despite more disruptive court appearances, Desmith and Salmi's obstructing and disorderly charges were dismissed as part of a plea agreement. They were sentenced to 1 year probation for carrying a concealed weapon and banned from owning firearms in that time. They also had to write letters of apology to officers at the scene of the incident.
Here's some more stuff that don't make any sense. It was dismissed, but they got probation. You see the type of shit that they say? It was dismissed, but you got probation. Now, I will say this. I did have a judge one time want me to apologize. And this is what I mean about being honorable and dishonor. You cannot dishonor police officers. You can't be out there talking to the police all crazy. You can't be talking to the judges crazy. And you can't be talking to the attorneys crazy. You have to be a gentleman and a lady in any interaction that you have with the public. This is a gentleman's game and this is a lady's game. You're not supposed to be on the side of the road telling the police what an idiot he is. Sign the damn ticket UCC 1308 and take it up with the judge. That's not the place to be arguing with they done already told these officers you sovereign citizens and these motherfuckers is crazy. All you doing is taking a chance on getting shot dead, which has happened to a lot of people on the street. Why the fuck are you arguing with an officer when it is already known? I had friends, a police officer, they make sure that they don't have very high IQs. They don't want police having high IQs. They want people who follow directions.